Gentleman from California, Mr. McClintock, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in strong support of H.R. 289, the Guides and Outfitters, or GO Act, offered by my Natural Resources Committee colleague and my California neighbor, Congressman Doug LaMalfa. For many years, we've seen increasingly severe restrictions on the public's use of the public's land. One of the most galling aspects of this exclusionary policy is the use of exorbitant fees to prevent many group events and small business services that have often been the economic mainstay of small mountain communities like those in my district in the Sierra Nevada. This abusive practice was made possible by the Federal Lands Recreation Enhancement, or FLREA Act, in 2004. It unleashed a flood of complex rules, regulations, and court decisions that have gradually increased the cost of permit administration for the Forest Service and for the Bureau of Land Management, which these agencies, in turn, have used as an excuse to raise fees on the public to cost-prohibitive levels. For example, the California Endurance Riders Association had been using the El Dorado National Forest for many years. In 2009, when they sought a simple 5-year, 10-event permit to continue doing exactly what they had been doing without incident for decades, the Forest Service demanded $11,000 in fees. Well, they paid those fees, but the El Dorado National Forest Management nonetheless pulled the approval permit and halted the process on utterly specious grounds. It then demanded an additional $17,000 fee, causing the Endurance Riders Association to cancel what had been a long-term civic tradition that had been a boon to the local economy. In 2010, this outrage was repeated after the group spent $5,800 for the Fool's Gold Endurance Run that had been an ongoing event for more than 40 years. Hardest hitter guides and outfitters, the folks who make it possible for visitors to fully enjoy our national lands. They're the small businesses that provide specialized knowledge and skills and equipment that new visitors just don't possess. Both the Forest Service and the Bureau of Land Management have used FLREA to require these small businesses to pay for permit processing and environmental analysis that require more than 50 hours. These fees, along with complex planning requirements, have virtually shut down so many legitimate and traditional public events and uses. Efforts to encourage the agencies to modify and streamline the process have failed, even when those efforts were supported by agency policy. The GO Act is a long overdue relief of these practices. It amends FLREA to streamline the recreation permitting process and allow for increased public access to recreational opportunities on the federal lands. The GO Act was crafted in consultation with a wide variety of recreation groups throughout the country, and it aims to reduce the cost and complexity of these permits. I want to commend and personally thank Congressman LaMalfa for listening to his constituents, to the people of the Sierra Nevada, and to the thousands of recreation service providers across the country who have been begging Congress to make these changes. I urge adoption of the measure and yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from California.